Earlier today, I was on social media. Somebody was talking about the Hunter Brittain case, and it got me thinking, got me remembering Michael Brown. And I tweeted out, I said, yeah, this reminds me of the Michael Brown case. And somebody was like, how so? And I explained a couple of things, and I'm going to explain some things for you. Welcome to Escaping the Echo Chamber. You see, what I'm about to talk about, I'm certain that the vast majority of people don't know about. I'm about to talk about details, about aspects of this case that most people don't know. 95% easy 95% don't know about the aspects of the case I'm about to tell you. They don't know about what happened in the incident before the shooting, what happened during the shooting, what happened after the shooting, and they don't even know how the case was resolved, if it was resolved. But that's what we're going to talk about, so stay tuned, because I'm going to go from top to bottom and just give you a thorough breakdown of Michael Brown's death at the hands of Nick Fowler. Now, you may be saying to yourself, wait a minute, at the hands of who? Nick Fowler? Was that the guy's name? That was the cop's name. Just follow along. And be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and comment below on what you think of the video. Let's get back to the story. Car is riding along the road. Michael Brown's in the car speeding. Nick Fowler sees the pickup truck that Michael Brown is in. He starts following. He pursues, hits his sirens, flashes his lights. The car speeds up, tries to lose him. Turns down a road, turns off the lights, hoping that they lost him. But Nick Fowler wasn't fooled. Nick Fowler pulled up behind them, got out of his car, says, "Hey, let me see them hands." However, according to Nick Fowler, they then backed up at him and tried to hit him with the car. He shot twice, killing Michael Brown, a passenger, and Tyler Teasley, the driver. You're like, wait, what is this? I don't remember any of this. Yes, like I said, I knew you wouldn't remember this. Follow along. So Tyler Teasley is shot in the head. Tyler Teasley was driving. Michael Brown is shot in the head. Michael Brown dies on the scene. There are 4 other passengers in the car. They are pulled out of the car. Medical attention is gotten for Tyler Teasley. He's taken to the hospital. The other 4 young people in the car, they're questioned, and there's later some question of whether or not they were under arrest or in custody. The cops will allege that, oh no, they weren't. They were just being questioned. They weren't under arrest. We just needed to get all the information we needed. But one of the things that was troubling in the immediate aftermath, besides the fact that Michael Brown is already dead, Tyler Teasley is in the hospital with a serious gunshot wound, is Tyler Teasley's parents aren't notified. His family isn't even notified. Who ultimately notifies Tyler Teasley's family is the chaplain, the hospital chaplain. He's like, why isn't his family here? I think at this point he realizes Tyler Teasley is not in good condition. Somebody, needs to be with him. So his family, he says, hey, your son's been shot. You need to call the police. Find out more details. They call the police. The police say, oh, well, we're not allowed to give you any information. Hold on, let me talk to somebody. I'll get back to you. The cops don't get back to them. They show up to the hospital. The cops don't want to let them see Tyler Teasley, their son, at first. But the chaplain, apparently puts the press down, and they're able to go see their son. However, he's got like plastic bags on his hands. They still have, several precautions. So they're not allowed to really be with him. And, their visit is limited. Tyler Teasley dies, a few hours later. So in the next day after being shot by Nick Fowler, Tyler Teasley dies of his injuries. Now, how when somebody is shot by the police, suddenly there's, this digging into the background of the person, and we start finding out details? Well, at some point in time, we learn details about an individual in this case. We learn details about a prior arrest for an assault, which was ultimately dismissed. But it turns out that according to the details of this arrest and this assault, this individual was the aggressor. We also find out that this individual was arrested for driving while intoxicated, and that they dropped out of college after 1 year. Not even after, I think it was either 1 year or during the first year. But it was just, so these things come up at some point in the case. Now, something else comes up in this case. You see, do you remember Nick Fuller's story about the car backing up trying to hit him? Well, the FBI and the Missouri Highway Patrol conducted an investigation. And what they find out is the pickup truck, was 18 feet away from the Nick Fuller's cruiser. Nick Fuller stepped in between his cruiser and the pickup truck, and the truck was backing up at a speed of 3.2 miles per hour. You see, what happened is Tyler Teasley was not backing up trying to hit Nick Fuller. Tyler Teasley had placed the car in neutral, and gravity was causing the car to roll back. See, that's the part that reminded me of Hunter Brittain, because Hunter Brittain gets out of his car to try to stop his car from rolling back, and he's shot to death because of it. In this case, Tyler Teasley and Michael Brown are shot to death because the car is in neutral, and instead of getting out of the way, Nick Fuller chose to shoot them both in the head. But that's not where I'm going to stop the story, because I want you to know the full scope of the story and what happens. So yes, right about now you've already figured out, wait a minute, you're talking about a different Michael Brown, but you said this was in Missouri. Yes, this was in Missouri. And yes, this is not the same Michael Brown that was killed in Ferguson, Missouri. But that's when I found out about this case. You see, I was in Missouri when Michael Brown was killed in Ferguson, Missouri. And I was reading the local papers, and this story was one of the stories that they talked about. They were talking about how, police shootings, even in this area, even in Missouri, even within the nearby vicinity, were not, a thing that never happened. Like this had happened. This was a significant incident that had happened years before. In fact, it happened in 2005. So the question is, what happened in the trial? Well, in the criminal trial, it wasn't even held in the jurisdiction. It was switched to a different jurisdiction. And predictably, Nick Fuller was acquitted of all charges. However, both families filed civil lawsuits. Both lawsuits were settled for one for, I think, about 1.2 million and the other for 1.1 million. By the way, you remember when I was telling you about the individual who, had the assault on their record, the DWI? Yeah, that individual wasn't Tyler Teasley. Wasn't Michael Brown either. That individual was Nick Fuller. Want to know what Nick Fuller is up to now? Nick Fuller, last I checked, and when I say last I checked, I was able to find, as recently as last year, he's like a head detective in Jefferson County, Missouri. I'm thinking about this and I'm talking about this because we need to broaden the conversation around police brutality, around police shootings, and we need to stop letting people who don't actually care about the people who are losing their lives, we can't allow them to control the conversation. Because there's another detail that I've left out up till now. Michael Brown and Tyler Teasley were both white. I'm not saying that to diminish the police brutality, the police violence that black and brown people are subject to. I'm telling you this to let you realize that the problem is even worse than we imagine. So it's not just a matter of, oh, it's a black problem. Oh, it's a Spanish problem. Oh, it's just them that are suffering at the hands of police. This is a nationwide problem, and all of us are at risk. All of us. And it won't stop until all of us start treating it like the problem it is. This isn't just a black problem. This isn't just a Spanish problem. This isn't just a minority problem. This is a all of us problem. This is a problem that needs all of us to pay attention to. This is a problem that won't go away by us pretending, okay, if it happens to somebody else, I'm not going to pay attention to it. And when it happens to somebody in my community, then I'll pay attention to it. No, because that's what the powers that be, that's what people like Chris Cuomo want. Because I was wondering, why would Chris Cuomo make that statement? Why would Chris Cuomo make the statement that if this was to happen to white kids, then people would care, white people would care? Chris Cuomo's got to know a bunch of this information. Chris Cuomo's got access to all kinds of information, all kinds of databases, all kinds of cases that have come through the newsroom and that have, been covered by various sources. So Chris Cuomo's got to know that this is happening to white kids. White kids have been getting killed by police, as well as black kids, as well as Spanish kids, as well as all Americans. There's a problem with policing in this country. There's a problem with law enforcement in this country. There's a problem with government in this country. But people like Chris Cuomo don't want you to know that that's the problem. They want you to think that it's just a race problem. Because if it's just a race problem, then guess, white people, you don't need to worry about it. It's just happening to black people. You've got your own problems to worry about. And tell them to get over it. If it's just a conservative problem, well, hey, I'm a Democrat. I don't care what's happening to conservatives. They stormed the Capitol anyway. That's on them. Let them deal with it. But when we start to realize, wait a minute, this is happening to conservatives. This is happening to liberals. This is happening to independents, regardless of your political ideology. This is happening to black people. This is happening to white people. This is happening to Spanish, to Asian people. This is happening to every race, ethnic persuasion of people in this country. People are getting killed by police. Unarmed people are being killed by police that are no threat to the police. But it's not just police. It's the fact that laws are becoming more and more intrusive. Government is coming harder and harder down on all of us. And if we don't start paying attention, there won't be anything we can do about it. Thank you for checking out this episode of Escaping the Echo Chamber. As always, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. And if you disagree with what I'm saying, if you think, I'm not worried about cops, I like cops, I back the blue, feel free to give me a thumbs down. But don't just give me a thumbs down and run away. Give me a thumbs down and tell me why, so I can address it either in the comment section or in a future video. I'll see you next time.